our team make plays and finish. I thought that Coach Kubiak did a great job all game long with the way he kept us in really positive situations. Thought we were able to sprinkle some good productive runs in there, and thought whether it was a drop back game, the play action game, there were a lot of productive plays, and I think we were able to show some of the skill players we have and what they're capable of, and I think that was important too. So, it's a razor's edge between winning and losing. We've been on the wrong side of a few of these as well, and today we were able to find the inches to get a win, but you obviously all know how close it is to it not going that way. So we're aware of that too, and that's why you come away from this one and feel like there's a lot of football left and a lot of work to be done.
Kirk, with all the long balls now, especially to Justin, you guys got in a groove last week and, showed how important he is. Today you guys are feeling it early. What has impressed you the most that you can not only throw him open, tight window, but he comes down with these contested catches that are just incredible?
He's a good football player, and he's a good receiver, and he's shown that again and again going back to last season, and he's been for us what we need him to be, and love getting the chance to play with him, and it takes a lot of pressure off of Adam to have a player of Justin's caliber that really attracts attention.
Is that play design with him lined up in the backfield, is that something you guys have been sitting on for a while, or is that a new wrinkle?
I don't think we sat on it for a while. Just a way to kind of try to present a different look to the defense.
Kirk, describe the play where the interception was overturned, what happened there, and then how about your level of relief when that was in fact overturned?
Yeah, try to give him an opportunity down the field like I had in other times during the game. I think when I talk about going back and watching the film and being hard on yourself, I think the lesson I'll take from it is to throw a ball higher, maybe even farther. That would make it more difficult for the defensive back to track it, and then give more time for Justin to be able to high point it. I think the ball I threw is more of a little bit of a driven ball that may not have given Justin that opportunity to high point it. And so that's kind of where I would take from it. I think the read wasn't necessarily a bad read, but maybe obviously the throw didn't give him that chance. Certainly thought that now the Packers are getting the ball back and they have good field position, and it wasn't a good feeling walking to the sideline. But Coach Janocko told me that he may have dropped it, and you're just waiting for the answer.
Kirk, just before that play, what is that quick change like when you have a long drive, take the lead, and then all of a sudden they go one play and you're back on the field in a tie game?
It's just kind of the NFL. When you play long enough, you've been in these situations so many times, you just realize this is life in the NFL, and you got to react and play through it all.
Kirk, did today sort of check all the boxes you've been working on, though, with third downs, red zone, very few penalties, explosive plays? Is that kind of everything coming together today?
I think the lack of penalties stands out. We've had some games with some tough down and distances, the first and second and 20s, which aren't a lot of fun. I think we avoided those for the most part today. And not only that, but I think we just stayed in very manageable second downs and third downs. And that makes a big difference. Makes a big difference for our play caller. It makes a big difference for me and for our offense.
Going into the game, did you think that you'd be a little bit more comfortable taking on risk? In the past you've said you just want to take what the defense gives you, and you've thrown short of the sticks a couple of times. And then this time, you're throwing deep downfield, even on 3rd and 1. Did you want to take on more risk, or is this just something you saw the defense giving you?
Yeah, more what the defense was doing. A lot of quarter shells, lower safeties. Had chances to get behind them. I think that we've got some other looks where people are really keeping things in front of them, and that's a very different thought process.
With the young guys that they had in linebacker today, outside linebacker, did they play more of a coverage and contain game against your guys than to come after the backfield?
I think they were pretty multiple. On Justin's final touchdown, it was an all-out blitz. Got some interior pressures throughout the game. They rushed 5 at times. We got a good variety of coverages in the back end. So I think it was a mix of fronts and coverages all throughout the game.
Kirk, it seems like almost every game has come right down to the wire for you guys this year. Obviously, you want to win more of those, but just having those experiences time and again, has that built this offense, this team, to be able to be ready for these moments when they come around now?
I think you got to be ready for them week 1. I mean, you can't wait till week 11 to be ready, but certainly when we're in the moment today, we obviously recognize we've been here before during the season, with the need to drive down at the end and win it. So it's certainly not a foreign concept, but it's a razor's edge, the difference between winning and losing.
How wild, in your estimation, how wild were the last couple minutes? I mean, going up and down the field, the teams.
It's just life in the NFL. It's exciting. I'm certainly, understand why people want to follow it and watch it, because it does come down so much to the final play. And today was no different. Courtney, do you have a question?
Yeah, I mean, Dalvin had some pretty good runs in there, but do you feel like, at least at this point of the season, the offensive identity is shifting to a pass first?
I think it's week to week, maybe even quarter to quarter, series to series, but certainly we've been, fairly aggressive the last couple weeks, and we'll have to see week to week and game, moment to moment, how we choose to attack. But certainly, we feel good about the people we get to throw the ball to, and that goes far beyond Justin and Adam. KJ and Tyler Conklin and Dalvin and Alex, and so there's a lot of production to be had there throwing the football.
Kirk, after some of your other losses, you've always said there's plenty of football left, but to finally get to 500 at this point and to do so against the Packers, I know it's not relief, but how are you feeling at this point that you guys have battled back that way? Yeah,
home game, division game against a good football team, so it's a step in the right direction. But 5-5 keeps you in the hunt. But it's going to take more to be in the playoffs at the end. So we've got a lot of work up ahead to get done.
Kirk, on that last drive, you had to throw left to Thielen. You had pressure coming in. Thielen looked like he was covered. Is that the kind of play when you talk about letting your receivers make a play that you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I could probably point to a half dozen throws today that were too aggressive, and I could argue that's one of them. I don't think you want to live doing that. I think that we got away with it a couple times, and I keep saying the word razor's edge, but that's a play where it's an example of it. The difference between him catching that and making the play did, and it going the other way is very small. Tyler Conklin did a great job on his route winning on that play, and so I got to go back and look at it and say, how can we give Adam a better chance to create separation, maybe a different route concept for me to give to him, and then, even what took me there, should I work Tyler instead? And so you are hard on yourself working through all that, because you don't want to live in a world of throwing the ball into a covered player and crossing your fingers. You don't want to live in that world. So there's a time and a place for it, but you also want to be a smart football player.
Were you sort of caught in between wanting Adam to score there and wanting to not score and run the clock out?
I think more just stay in bounds. That's the big thing. He did a great job after the catch staying in bounds, but then as you push down the field, cut back inside and keep the clock running, make them use a timeout. I think, and that's where Dalvin, when we ran the football, was just a really aware play by him to cut it up and stay in bounds. And, it takes really smart football players to win in this league, and both those guys are smart players.
Thanks, guys.
All right.